Hi, Jason Bradley from BodyWorx Physio. So today what I'm going to show you is a few different types of taping for the knee. So this is largely to deal with things like patellofemoral pain, so pain behind your kneecap, patellotendinitis, so irritation of the tendon around below the kneecap. And what we're looking at doing with this is we're trying to increase the activation of the VMO muscle, the little muscle on the inside of the quad here, to help try and keep the kneecap in the right position when it's moving. And also to take off different strains that go through that tendon there. It should always be combined with a good rehab program, including usually releasing through the lateral muscles and the ITB, as well as strengthening through your glutes and strengthening the VMO muscle itself. So the first one is a fairly traditional taping style, and a lot of people call it the McConnell taping style, after a Sydney physiotherapist that was one of the key developers of this technique and did a lot of research into it. So to start with, we have the knee a little bit bent. We don't want to tape it fully straight, otherwise you won't be able to bend the knee afterwards. Next up, first bit, we just use a bit of the hypersensitive tape underneath, so going from the outside over to the inside. And this is just because it sticks a bit better to the skin, and also the skin's a little bit sensitive in that area. And same thing, so we just want to make sure, sorry about the hairs. Ideally, the person you're taping this on is going to have a shaved leg just because it's going to stick better. So that's our first two. So once we've done that, I'm just going to come around the other side. Once we've done that, what we want to then do is get our strips of tape, and we want to do roughly the same length with our rigid tape. So it's just plain 38mm rigid tape. Sticking it on the outside, right in the centre of that patella. Put the thumb on the inside of the kneecap, gently slide it across and pull up on the inside. And so what we should end up with is these nice little wrinkles on the inside there. Now there's also different types of specific techniques you can do with creating, like an up rotation or down rotation. That I'd say generally just do it just gently across to keep it simple. So as you go, one right in the middle, one at the base, one at the top. And then to finish it off, to hold the ends down on both sides, we're just using a little bit of the hypersensitive tape over the ends to hold it in place. Now this is a great tape for running and everything. If you're playing stuff like hockey or AFL, anything that requires a little bit more mobility and having to move around and get down really low on your knees or really bend that knee, then it's not really very useful, because a lot of the time what you'll find is it'll pop off really easily, especially once you start to get a bit sweaty. So we've got an alternative for that tends to work really well using the dynamic tape. So I'm just going to peel this stuff off before it sticks to his leg too well. Okay. So once again, we still want it to be slightly bent. We've got just some standard dynamic tape in about 20 centimetre lots. You can, if they're longer legs, longer strips. And normally what I would do is just round the edges. I haven't rounded the edges in this, but I just cut through and round the edges if it doesn't already come pre-cut. That just means the edges are less likely to lift up. So what we want to do is do it to the outside of the shin, stick down the first 2 centimetres or so, put a gentle tension up through the inside there, and stick on that last 2 centimetres. And same thing, and we're going to spread it a little bit more further onto the inside. Same thing again, stick down, stretch up, and stick. And what this does, by creating that tension and a little bit of stretch onto the VMO there, it actually increases the activation of the VMO. The same thing is what they've discovered with the standard, the traditional taping. We always used to think it pushed the kneecap across inwards, but when they actually did studies on it, they found it actually just increased that activation of that interior muscle. So by using this dynamic tape, the knee can bend a lot more comfortable bending. It generally stays on a lot better during activity. If you wanted to give more support for the knee, you can just add on extra strips. By placing one on the outside here. and one directly over the kneecap, which just helps to frame the kneecap and give it that support from both inside and outside. And as you can see, the leg can still bend nice and easily. As I said, I would normally round the corners of that, it'll make it stick down more. You can also use a bit of the hypersensitive tape once again to stick down the ends if you're having trouble keeping it stuck. So that's the basic tapes for a patellofemoral, so when you're having problems with the kneecap tracking, or if you're getting pain in behind the kneecap. If you've got any questions or you want to have your needs assessed, please give us a call. To find out more or book an appointment, jump onto our website www.bodyworxphysio.com.au or give us a call on 4952 7033.